Welcome to my channel, where your adventure into the future starts right now. Step into a vibrant universe filled with groundbreaking technology, breathtaking alien landscapes, and exhilarating sci-fi narratives that challenge your imagination. From daring explorations of distant galaxies to haunting journeys through dystopian societies, we uncover the most captivating stories and innovative ideas that will shape the world of tomorrow. Subscribe today and join us on an incredible intergalactic voyage that promises to inspire and thrill. In the distant future, humanity's reach across the stars extended far beyond Earth, with the human race colonizing countless planets, moons, and even distant star systems. As they spread across the galaxy, humankind encountered a variety of alien species, some more advanced and some still in the early stages of development. Despite the diversity of cultures, technologies, and ecosystems that humanity encountered, there was one common thread that connected many of these worlds: the fragility of life itself. Many planets, particularly those that were newly discovered or were undergoing rapid development, struggled to protect their unique species from the destructive forces of industrialization, climate change, and resource exploitation. Other civilizations, even some older and more advanced than humanity, were unable or unwilling to devote the resources necessary to protect endangered species and preserve biodiversity. It became increasingly clear that humanity had the responsibility and the capability to protect these species and ensure their survival. In response to this growing need, the human race established the Galactic Humanitarian Organization, GHO, dedicated to protecting endangered species across the universe. The foundation of the GHO was a direct result of humanity's own history with environmental destruction. Earth's ecosystems had been irreparably harmed by centuries of unchecked industrialization, deforestation, pollution, and resource depletion. It was only in the latter stages of the 21st century that humanity began to understand the consequences of its actions and started working toward planetary sustainability. By the time humans set foot on their first exoplanetary colony, they had learned valuable lessons about the importance of biodiversity and the delicate balance of ecosystems. This knowledge, combined with humanity's unyielding sense of responsibility for the stewardship of life, propelled the establishment of an organization that would act as both a protector and advocate for the countless species that faced extinction across the galaxy. The primary goal of the GHO was simple yet profound: to protect endangered species and ecosystems from the numerous threats posed by rapid colonization, resource extraction, climate change, and other anthropogenic forces. The organization would work to conserve habitats, prevent poaching, regulate harmful industries, and restore balance to ecosystems that had been disturbed by external forces, whether from other civilizations or from the human presence itself. Its mission extended far beyond mere intervention. It sought to create a framework for sustainable coexistence with the countless life forms that inhabited the galaxy, fostering mutual respect between humans and other species, as well as between different species themselves. The GHO's creation was not without its challenges. While humanity had made significant strides in developing technologies to sustain life on Earth and in space, the scope of the task was daunting. The galaxy was vast, and the number of species in need of protection was astronomical. Entire ecosystems were at risk of being wiped out by human activity, either through direct intervention, such as mining, or through more indirect impacts, like climate change and the spread of invasive species. In some regions of space, alien species were rapidly losing their native habitats due to the encroachment of human settlements and industries. The need for a coordinated, galaxy-wide effort was clear, and it was up to the GHO to fill that role. One of the GHO's first challenges was to establish a universal understanding of what constitutes an endangered species. Different planets, species, and civilizations had varying definitions of what it meant for a species to be in danger. On Earth, the criteria were relatively clear, but as humanity encountered new life forms on other worlds, the complexity of the situation deepened. What was considered endangered on one planet might not be viewed the same way on another, depending on the local ecology, the role the species played in that ecosystem, and its cultural significance to the inhabitants of that world. The GHO worked tirelessly to standardize definitions and protocols, creating a set of criteria that could be applied across the galaxy, ensuring that conservation efforts were based on science and universal principles. The GHO also recognized that the protection of endangered species was not just about rescuing individual creatures, it was about preserving entire ecosystems. A single endangered species was often a symptom of a larger, systemic problem that threatened an entire environment. For this reason, the organization began to focus on the preservation of habitats as much as the preservation of species themselves. They understood that if a species were to survive, its habitat must remain intact. This led to the creation of special protected zones, sanctuaries where human and alien efforts could converge to safeguard the natural environments of at-risk species. These zones became the focal points of GHO activities, with scientists, conservationists, and diplomats from across the galaxy working together to protect fragile ecosystems from exploitation. The organization's operations spanned a wide range of initiatives. One of its most successful programs was the establishment of a vast network of space stations dedicated to the care and rehabilitation of endangered species. These stations served as both refuges and research hubs, where species could be transported to safety, away from the threats of their home planets. The space stations also became critical sites for studying the biology and behavior of these species, allowing the GHO to develop more effective conservation strategies and educate the public about the importance of biodiversity. Some of these stations even functioned as genetic repositories, preserving the DNA of species that had gone extinct or were on the brink of extinction, ensuring that they could one day be brought back to life through advanced genetic engineering technologies. Another key initiative of the GHO was the development of a fleet of conservation ships that traveled across the galaxy, conducting fieldwork and providing immediate assistance to endangered species in crisis. These ships were equipped with state-of-the-art technologies, including cloaking systems to protect them from hostile forces, advanced medical facilities for treating injured or sick animals, and drones for monitoring ecosystems from space. They worked in conjunction with planetary governments, local species, and even private corporations to coordinate efforts and ensure the protection of endangered species. One of the most memorable interventions carried out by the GHO occurred on a distant planet known as Cytherea. The planet was home to a species of large, peaceful creatures known as the Cytherians, which had become an icon of endangered species conservation efforts. Due to the rapid industrialization of Cytherea, the Cytherians' natural habitats had been decimated, and their population had dwindled to a dangerous low. The GHO intervened by setting up a sanctuary on one of the planet's moons, where a breeding program was initiated. Experts from across the galaxy were brought in to work with the Cytherians, studying their behavior, biology, and reproductive habits to ensure the success of the program. The moon sanctuary became a symbol of hope for the Cytherians, and, over time, their population began to recover. In addition to direct conservation efforts, the GHO also took a proactive role in educating both the human race and other galactic civilizations about the importance of protecting endangered species. They organized conferences, summits, and public outreach programs, advocating for the establishment of planetary and galactic laws that would protect at-risk species. They worked with governments, corporations, and non-governmental organizations to create policies that would discourage harmful practices such as poaching, deforestation, and overhunting. One of the GHO's greatest successes was the establishment of a universal ban on the trade of endangered species, a measure that was enforced through cooperation with various galactic security organizations. As the GHO's influence grew, so too did its ability to impact galactic policy. In some cases, the organization was able to secure unprecedented agreements between different species who, despite their differences, understood the value of preserving their shared environments. This was particularly significant in situations where two or more alien species were in conflict over resource allocation or territory. The GHO's diplomats worked tirelessly to mediate these disputes, emphasizing the need for ecological balance and the long-term survival of all species. Their efforts often resulted in historic peace accords that not only protected endangered species but also promoted peaceful coexistence between species that had once been bitter rivals. One of the most powerful aspects of the GHO was its ability to unite species across vast distances, working together for the common good of the galaxy. The organization served as a reminder that, despite the differences in culture, technology, and biology, all life was interconnected and that the survival of one species often depended on the survival of another. The GHO became more than just a conservation organization. It became a beacon of hope for the galaxy, a symbol of humanity's dedication to the preservation of life in all its forms. The efforts of the GHO were not without their challenges. While the organization was successful in many of its endeavors, it often faced opposition from corporations and governments that prioritized economic growth over ecological preservation. In some cases, the GHO had to deal with sabotage, corruption, and outright hostility from those who stood to lose financially from conservation efforts. There were times when the organization's interventions sparked political or military conflicts, and it had to walk a fine line between diplomacy and forceful action. Yet, despite these obstacles, the GHO persevered, driven by its unwavering belief in the sanctity of life and the responsibility of intelligent beings to protect it. As humanity continued to expand its reach across the stars, the Galactic Humanitarian Organization grew in influence and scope, evolving into a multi-species network of conservationists, diplomats, scientists, and activists. Its work laid the foundation for a galaxy-wide movement focused on sustainability, cooperation, and respect for all forms of life. The organization's success was a testament to humanity's ability to learn from its past mistakes and use its technological advancements for the greater good, ensuring that future generations would inherit a galaxy that was not only rich in resources but also in the beauty and diversity of life. The Galactic Humanitarian Organization's commitment to protecting endangered species became one of the defining legacies of humanity's time in the galaxy, proving that even in the vast expanse of space, compassion and responsibility for life could shine through.